everyone, to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews.
Bringing you opinions about nerd stuff is our superpower.
I'm Captain Mao.
I'm Hailstorm.
And I'm Weapon 2. I am an FBI agent.
Spoilers. Thank you for joining us on episode 18 of the world's greatest podcast. Getting exciting. We're almost at 20. Which is almost at 25, which is almost 50, which is almost 100.
You're right, but 18
We're
sounds
so close to
high.
1,000. We're close to 1,000 now, right?
Yes.
All right, that's how the math works.
But no, for real though, 18 actually, 17 some rookie shit. That's some amateur hour stuff. But 18, this is like the next number.
Right. When you said 18, I was like, 18? Even though I know the last one was 17 and 18 actually comes after 17?
It usually does.
Yeah, but it still was surprising.
I'm proud of us. I feel like we're doing great work. And you guys are doing great work for tuning in. And we have a special treat for you today because we are going to give you our top 5 Keanu Reeves movies of all time. Yes.
Friend of the show, Keanu Reeves.
You're finally dedicating an entire countdown to friend of the show, Keanu Reeves. Hey, Keanu. What's up, man? This is for you. We appreciate you. We love you.
Haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, give us a little texty text. Little. Let's just reach out. It's fine. It's cool. I mean, you don't have to, but we'd appreciate it. So, but yeah, we are going to start out, though, with some Patreon shout-outs, right? Hailstorms?
Yeah, let's go. Tell
Yeah.
us.
What do we got? We got new Patreons?
We have 2 new Patreons. We have Angie Dittmer and we have Dan Jacobs.
Nice.
Round of applause.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Woo! Thank you very much to both of you. I appreciate both of you equally.
We appreciate all 5 of our Patreons.
They are my 5 favorite people in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They've supplanted the top fans as favorite people.
But it's not like I love them less. I just dug deep and I found more love in my heart.
A little more.
A
Yeah,
little more
for them.
to give to them.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
Regular subscribers are there too. It's just, it all has to go around.
No,
but
there's love
yes,
too. There's a lot of love to go around.
a lot of loyalty.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys. They are the top tier subscribers also to the Patreons, right? The true believers.
Yes.
I can't believe it, man. They're throwing Disney Plus money at us and more
Than Disney Plus. $10 a month.
You know what they get from us that they don't get from Disney Plus? New
Original
content.
Consistent
content.
content.
You know what else Disney Plus doesn't give them? Stickers.
Yeah.
And basically anything else. They're not mailing any gifts to your house or handing them to you face to face. That's not happening.
You know what
from
else Disney Plus doesn't give you? Undying love and devotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are a giant evil corporation, and we are just a small little production that just one day wishes to be a giant evil corporation.
They're not calling out your name on Disney Plus.
No.
Like we are here.
They don't even notice when you disappear.
That's right.
We would. It would make us
We
sad.
would cry. I mean, I know I would cry.
Mm-hmm.
If our Patreons disappear?
Yeah.
Not only would I cry,
I
would go on a revenge mission to try to find your killers and avenge you.
Oh,
if
you're
they
saying
died.
something
I
bad.
thought-
I
yeah.
thought I was just talking about if they stopped paying
I'm
us money on
assuming
the
something
Patreon.
nefarious was afoot.
Oh, you're assuming that they wouldn't ever, of their own accord, leave us. It would have to have been some type of a plot by evildoers.
Yes.
Okay, no, yeah, I'm with you. I'll go out.
Yeah, good stuff.
We'll avenge you. Yes.
That's
you will be
something
avenged.
Disney Plus won't do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure.
won't send Avengers to avenge you. We will.
I'm sure they would be way better at it though than if we did it.
Well,
but
they've got more money behind it.
that's
but
true.
I don't know.
We've got heart.
We do have heart.
We've got moxie.
All right, so those are our new Patreons. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. We're gonna move to the news. So actually a few things making the rounds. First of all, big news, that Tiger King thing that everybody seems to really like. By the way, I tried it. I started it and I saw half of the first episode.
You gotta finish. Listen to me.
I saw about as much as I needed to see.
Bro,
No,
listen to me.
you didn't.
If you get to past episode 3, you'll be hooked.
That's okay. I just want to mention, first of all, that guy.
Once you find out that Carol Baskin probably fed her husband to a tiger,
I knew that,
you'll
though.
be hooked. No.
But that guy...
You got to see that crazy lady talking about it.
He is basically a cartoon character. Like, he is...
They're all cartoon.
Weirdest
Who is not a cartoon character on that? Tell me who.
Every time you think,
everybody,
holy crap, this is the craziest crap I've ever seen.
There's a more crazy person that shows up.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I don't get it. I get why people get it.
The least crazy person on that is the guy that they got the idea of Scarface from, a cocaine drug dealer, okay, who...
Wait, is that for real? Is that a real thing?
Yes!
Oh, shit.
He's the least crazy, outlandish person on that show.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, it sounds like that's as good as any Hollywood movie, but fuck, Hollywood's gonna make a movie about it, or not a movie, a TV show.
Every time I try to explain to somebody, I'm watching this show, and they'll talk about it. They'll go, "Oh yeah, that sounds really interesting." And I'm like, they're like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "Who wrote the script or something?"
Yeah,
like,
it sounds ridiculous.
No, these are real people, and they go, "You're kidding."
So
with anything, I'm like, how much of it is real? How much of it is like embellished? How much of it is dramatized?
It's real.
Is it for
it's real. It's for real. But the movie pitch guy did a pitch for it.
Oh, did he? The pitch meeting guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, the pitch meeting guy.
So I mean, here's the deal. I mean, we all know that editing and everything can edit things to be anything. But here's the reality. These are real people that are acting the way they really act, and they really said these things. No matter how you want to edit them or anything else, these are real people.
Okay. So. Well, I don't know how Hollywood's going to make it better, but there's a series that's going to be made about it, and so they're casting for it. And none other than friend of the show, Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Is going to play, what's his name, Joe Exotic?
Yes.
So based on the very little that I've seen of this apparently real person, I feel like this is brilliant casting. I feel like Nick Cage could fucking knock this out of the park. What do you guys think as people who've seen the show? The documentary.
You want to go first, Hailstorm?
I think it's good casting, but I don't think that the show is going to be better than the documentary, because I think part of what makes this so amazing is the fact that the whole time you're like, oh my God, these are real people saying the things that they thought were going to be cool to say.
So like us?
Kind of, yeah. Only without feeding anybody to tigers.
That is the thing. The real, I mean, reality is crazier than anything almost anybody could imagine.
Okay, so hang on.
And that's the catch.
But so she fed her husband allegedly to tigers.
Allegedly.
Okay, but okay, I just want to say
Don's missing. Nobody's seen him in 20 years.
Most people have seen Dexter.
Yeah.
Most people, after watching an episode of Dexter, look to their friends in the room and be like, if you were going to kill somebody, how would you get rid of the body? And then you have a very practical conversation as to body disposal, and you realize that's probably very hard to get away with it.
Unless you have a lot of pigs.
Unless you got like a tiger.
Yeah.
Or pigs.
That is maybe the best way to get rid of a body.
If you've got a tiger, a bear, and or a dragon, you have some very, very effective body disposal
Like
mechanisms.
a Komodo dragon?
Yeah.
No, I mean a dragon.
Like a
real dragon.
Oh, fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah,
I mean, I would argue that's better than any other animal to do it.
A real dragon. So
Silly me.
Yeah, so what they're going to do is they're going to try to capture this magic with a script, with actors. And believe me, I mean, I'll probably watch it only because Nick Cage, I want to see how Nick Cage tries to out crazy the actual crazy guy.
You know,
himself.
He's just going to Nick Cage it up, though.
He's going to Nick Cage it up.
So it'll just be Nicolas Cage as a crazy person.
Yeah, it'll be crazy, and it'll be for just
Oh, is he going to do an accent again?
He's gonna be
like that
Georgian
bitch, Carol Baskins
accent. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes down. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, the magic was the show itself.
See, I'll probably watch the series. I won't watch the documentary though. Okay. There's another a separate series also being made about this, or maybe a movie. There's two productions going on, and it seems like the Nick Cage one is actually going to hit production first and come out first. And I feel like the novelty of this is going to wear off eventually. So whichever one comes out first, I think is going to be the more successful one. And I'm happy it's a Nick Cage one, because there's no word on casting on the other one that's coming out, if that's even going to happen. But Nick Cage is going to be awesome. A lot of fan theories going out there where people aren't happy with Nick Cage, and they were throwing out other suggestions as who to play him. I think he's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
He's fucking Nick Cage, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
I mean, he'll be Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Speaking of friends of the show, Tom Cruise has a long storied history of doing crazier and crazier stunts for his movies. He famously, for the Mission Impossible series, has climbed the world's tallest building in Dubai. He's hung off the side of a plane. He's broken his ankle jumping off buildings. For Top Gun, for the last Mission Impossible, he actually learned how to fly a helicopter. He is like dedicated to realism and things looking as real as possible in these movies, which is awesome. Like, say what you will if you like him or don't like him, you think he's a good actor, whatever. His dedication to the realism of his craft is something that has to at least be respected, right?
Oh, he's a good actor.
I love him.
He's
I
just
love
a
Tom
crazy
Cruise.
person.
Yeah, most of them are. Yeah. But where do you go from there? Apparently, you go to space. Apparently, he's talking to Elon Musk and his company SpaceX, and they want to film a movie in outer freaking space. I think this is awesome.
That is the most expensive location ever. How much do you think that's going to cost? What is it?
More money than sense? But fuck it, it's Elon Musk.
It's got to be $10 million to get out to outer space.
But okay, if you got build my own rocket money, then you got film a scene in space money. Like, this is awesome. This is cool.
But here's the thing. Like, even famous people do GoFundMes to make their own movies. So it's not like movies are cheap and they want to spend that money on something they don't know if it'll make it back.
Correct. Well, so with this though, no studio's actually attached to the project yet. They're very much in the early phases. But it's Tom Cruise. He'll get like a studio's backing to do.
So spoiler alert, everybody! You're going to see a Kickstarter from Tom Cruise. He wants you to donate money so he can go to outer space and film a movie. So any of you that have some money for poor Tom Cruise,
there's not a lot of
outer space.
There's not a lot of causes I
believe
in that I would give my money to.
Except for this one,
I would see Tom Cruise in space.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So you would put money to back it and then buy money again to buy it, to go watch it in the theater.
I support this.
Okay.
This is gonna be. I don't even care what the movie's about. Just the fact that he's actually floating around in space is gonna be awesome. And Tom, you know what? I believe in you. I want you to make this happen. When it does become finalized, shoot me a little texty text. Let me know. I'll the breaking story to the world. Let everybody know what's going on. I will do that for you. This
might turn into a real life documentary where Tom Cruise is out in space. He can't get back.
Or
he's stranded in space, and this might turn into how are we going to get Tom Cruise back from outer space?
If he fucks up and dies in space,
yeah,
best case scenario, if he dies in space trying to film a movie, the Mount Rushmore of Hollywood is Tom Cruise 4 times. That's fucking awesome. That is the best thing ever.
You did it, Tom.
Yeah,
finally did it. You finally killed yourself in the most spectacular way possible.
I was texting a friend of mine this. And
fucking did it.
And he was just like, okay, this is great, but let's say this happens. That's it. He just retires, right? Like, where else does he go? And I texted him. I was like, headline from 2028. Breaking news. Tom Cruise to journey to Hades to film a movie in the underworld. That's the only place you go next.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of awesome, crazy people, Taika Waititi. He is going to write and direct a Star Wars movie.
Do it.
Now, I feel like everybody at this table is happy.
Yes.
Apparently, some nerds on the internet are not happy.
There are always some unhappy people.
They're pissed because they think he's too comedic, and Star Wars is very serious, apparently.
What?
Right? I'm not just mocking, so everything's kind of silly, right? Batman's a little silly.
No, they
think he's going to make it too funny.
There's serious going on with comedic dialogue and crazy stuff happening throughout. That's what Star Wars has been since the beginning.
But, like, they say, oh, he made Thor too funny. Like, really? Because, yeah, it was very funny and enjoyable, but some of the biggest, most character-defining and changing moments and horrible shit happened to him in that movie that resonated throughout the rest of the Marvel universe. So, like,
making Thor funny gave him a lot of depth, though.
Yes, it did. That was this great decision.
Yeah.
But he also, like, knew how to, like, do things and plan things that, you know, like I said, resonated with the rest of the series. So, like,
because Han Solo didn't wisecrack throughout every single movie he's ever been, right?
Yeah.
He was completely serious, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, somebody else put Jar Jar Binks in there, so it can't get much worse than that.
That was George Lucas.
He's not doing things like that.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, okay, like, Star Wars is great, and Star Wars has very serious moments, and it has, like, you know, moments that are put you on the edge of your seat, but it also has moments that make you laugh out loud. There are moments of levity in that series.
Right.
And you can't negate, like, nothing could take itself that freaking seriously. Right? Like some of the funnier moments, even in like The Dark Knight, is when they're kind of poking fun at the entire fucking thing because they're like, this is just a little ridiculous, right? Like you got to acknowledge that.
Yes.
So I not only think that if he makes a standalone movie, whatever it'll be about, I think would be great. I think he's the kind of like director and writer that would be looking forward and actually like sow some seeds that could become a trilogy or like spawn like several movies that might be really good, especially if they're completely unconnected to like the Skywalker lineage, which is what I think they're going to do now. They're probably going to start doing movies.
We're done with Skywalkers,
yeah,
bro.
it's all going to be.
We're done.
It's all going to be different stories in the Star Wars universe, which I'm totally on board for. I'm being really honest. I would watch more Skywalkers. I don't care. I would watch anything they do. But this is exciting. I'm excited. I don't get how anybody hears this and is like, fuck. Like, who thinks that way?
I think there's just always those people that want to prove that they're the more fanniest fan because they are.
Bro, you trying to out-fan me, bro?
But that's how, if you're critical of that thing which you say you love the most, then obviously you're more cerebral than the guy who's like,
or they're more intellectual.
So
They've really they're deeper than everybody else.
Right.
They're really thinking about the big picture.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the way so many people are.
Okay, but here's the deal, man. Like, I've been one to do that from time to time. But I only do it with something that I legitimately think's not gonna. When something cool that I think is fun and happy is gonna happen, I get excited. I fanboy out because isn't the point to be excited? Like,
well, I think this is amazing.
This is great to me
because I think he's a great name to attach.
Get James Gunn too. Make him do fucking a Star Wars. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm on board for that.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, that is all the news I got. Do you guys got any news topics?
That's some
you want to
good
talk
news.
I think that's all
It
there
is
is.
because there's not a lot.
News.
Aside from like the AMC and Universal shit. Should we talk about that real quick?
We already did talk about that.
No, we talked about AMC going bankrupt. We didn't talk about the shit with Universal
They're
attack.
not going to show any Universal movies.
So they released.
I did read that.
Yeah, Universal released Trolls 2 straight to digital. Apparently, it made a lot of money. Like not as much actually. Like the actual number was less than what Trolls 1 made in theaters. But if you guys don't know this, when a movie opens in theaters for like the first 2 or 3 weeks, profits are split about 50-50 with the theaters, and then it tapers down after that. It's depending on the movie and all that, right? But the studio does not get all the profit, not by a long shot. So if they release it straight to video on demand, all that profit goes to them. So they ended up making a lot more money, and they said like in an article about how of an innovative like thing this is and how they might do that more, blah, blah, blah. Well, AMC is not doing so well, as we talked about in our last podcast. And they basically said, fuck you, we're never showing Universal movies in our theaters again. Bold move,
Spoiler
Kanye.
alert,
Let's see if it pays off.
we're not showing any movies in our theaters.
We're taking our ball and we're going home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems kind of crazy that they would say that. And it also seems crazy that Universal's thinking that they can put all their eggs in one basket, because the reason why things are doing so well right now is because you literally have all these people who have no choice but to get.
Oh no, they still want to show plenty of movies in the theaters.
Yes,
they just want to pick and choose.
Well,
what they
and
do,
also let's couple that with the fact that a lot of people are stuck at home with their kids right now.
Right.
You put a brand new kid movie on.
Yeah.
Sure. You think they're gonna put Fast and Furious Universal? I think it's Universal.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna put Fast and Furious 9 if it is indeed a Universal movie straight to video on demand?
No.
Hell no. So you think they would have the balls to say this to Disney? Like Marvel? No, they wouldn't do that.
No, Disney's done this for years.
I think Fast and Furious is, and I
Not
think that's
with
one of
big
the ones
IP,
they're
though,
worrying about
with
it.
like straight to like sequels of fucking movies and stuff, but they've never.
Isn't Trolls 2 a sequel?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well played. But I mean, even Trolls 1, it didn't make a crap ton of money. It wasn't like a Pixar movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
In terms of profits.
Yeah.
My girl Anna Kendrick was in it though. But and J Tim, love you, bro. But yeah, so that's a thing. We'll see how that plays out. I don't think AMC is going to do that at all. I think they're going to show. They're going to be so hurting for business when they open back up. They're going to need to show anybody.
I think it's funny for them to even say that. They're posturing right now.
It is. It really seems like somebody who's like losing an argument and just says some hurtful shit that you know they're going to have to apologize for later.
Fine, then we're just not even going to do this with you anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look, it's over. It's like they take their ball. They're like, we're out. It's like, all right.
They'll come back with
They
their
said that
head
in anger.
down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Angry.
So, all right. Well, that's all the news we got for you. We're going to move on to our top five countdown.
That's what we're gonna do.
Awesome.
We're gonna do
Which one of you fine podcasters would like to go first?
We're going to start with you, Hailstorm, again?
Okay.
There we go.
All
Do
right.
it. Let it rip.
All right. So my number 5, Johnny Mnemonic. This is a movie that came out in 1991, I believe. It's from the early 90s, and it was set in the future, the year 2021.
Oh,
Dun, dun,
there
dun.
we go.
Are there
Yes.
hoverboards?
Not that I recall.
Oh.
No.
Mnemonic
But-
does sound futuristic-y, like the name.
Yes. So basically, in this movie, Keanu Reeves is a human thumb drive. They basically can download information to his brain, and he's a courier who takes it elsewhere. And yeah, but the funny thing about it, watching it, in current day, is that his capacity is 80 gigabytes. He can double it to 160, but I mean, my phone is 256. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I remember my high school days, circa 2004, 2005. My PS2 had an 8 megabyte memory card.
Yeah.
And I remember that holding all my games.
Yeah.
That was your high school days?
Yeah.
I was in Korea in 91, where we're talking about when this movie came out.
You know what? So I've been watching a lot of that 70s show, and just reminded me of like when Red takes Eric's car away, and he's like, "Come on, Dad! Like it's my senior year. You got to remember senior year, cruising around with your friends." He's like, "My senior year, I was in Okinawa driving a gunboat, and if by my friends you mean the enemy snipers, then yes, we had some great times." Sorry. Go ahead.
Way to go on that tangent. No,
I'll cut it out.
This movie is good because I just like the plot of it. It's not that Keanu Reeves is at his best in any way, but you always talk about Keanu Reeves and what number.
It's always Keanu Reeves. Where does he turn it up
Where do
to?
we want the dial? This is a little bit. He's like a 4 or 5 on this one.
I mean, that's plenty of Keanu in most circumstances.
No, I have realized when I was making my list that I like it when Keanu's like a 3 or a 2.
Right.
I don't like it when he starts trying to get loud and stuff, because then the surfer thing comes out.
Because then he starts talking like this, but more loud.
Right.
Is that what happens when that starts happening?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hear
Yeah.
ya. Yeah.
You can't rewatch those movies over and over again.
Yeah. You know what? You know another thing? It's easier to count the times he wasn't named John than the times he was named John in movies. He's named
true.
John in most all of his movies.
He is. I wonder if that's something.
John's a thing for him.
Maybe he's got a predilection to picking movies named John because he has issues about being named
Maybe
Keanu.
it's just like a standard white dude name. Like maybe
Yeah.
that's it.
I mean, how many times was Nicolas Cage
Should
named
we,
John?
Keanu, should we switch up the first name? No, I'm good with John. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Used to it.
Maybe he has
it's my
trouble
second name. I
answering.
hear John. I know they're talking to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
So I'm not gonna replay the whole plot just in case Scott has it on, or Weapon 2 has it on his list. He'll tell
I
the
know.
whole plot.
I
He'll
know.
tell it
I've
all.
come on my list like you don't need to say the whole plot. You just
No, because that's
I'm
not
going
Why
to
you
try
like
to
it,
tone that down this
and then
time,
he just
folks.
tells the whole movie. And it's fine.
And then 40
you
minutes
guys-
later.
you guys
We're
are
not
getting
hating on you.
complex. Yeah, you're a little bit. You are.
we're
Okay,
not.
go ahead. Let's hear your number 5.
My number 5 Keanu Reeves movie of all time, Constantine. So this movie came out in 2005, and it stars the DC character Constantine. It's called Hellblazer in the books. Now, a lot of people are actually mad about this because in the books, he's like a blonde British dude, and Keanu Reeves is not that at all. But this movie is very, very cheesy and has like a lot of the tropes that like mid-2000s comic book movies did. But it also has some gold in there. Him just being like a hard drinking, hard smoking exorcist. Like the opening scene when the chick is like, she gets possessed and she's doing all the cliche tied to the bed exorcist stuff, and all the priests couldn't get the demon out, and he just like walks in there, steps on the bed, leans in. He's like, "I'm Constantine. John Constantine.
I'm
Asshole."
Constantine.
And the demon's just like, "What?" Like, and it's, just, and it's one of those where it's like,
Oh, Constantine.
like it's the dumbest
Everybody
shit.
knows him. They
But
all know him.
it's
All the
so
demons know him.
Badass. Like I don't even know why I like this movie. It's awesome. And then he just gets the cross.
He
and
was in
shoves
hell
it in
for
that
2
bitch's
minutes.
head.
They all know him.
Yes,
Yep.
and because he exports all these demons back to hell, he fucking murders them. And like the whole plot of the movie is like Satan is like waiting for him to die because he's a suicide because he tried to kill himself, succeeded for 2 minutes, which is an eternity in hell because time. And so he's waiting for him to die, and that's the one soul he's gonna come bring back himself. And into the movie, spoilers, he outsmarts the devil, and there's this fucking amazing shot when God's bringing him up, and he just fucking flips off the devil. And then there's a lot of cool shit in this movie. Really, really cool action. Forget the chick's name. She was in The Mummy. She's great in the movie also. I like this movie. It's cheesy as shit. I don't even really think it's a good movie. If you've never seen it and I put it on for you now, you'd be like, huh, That's definitely a movie, but I really like it. I'm super fond of it. I could watch it over and over again. Constantine is my number 5. Weapon 2.
My number 5 is a movie called A Scanner Darkly. If anybody, have you guys watched A Scanner Darkly?
No.
Scanner Darkly, for me, is interesting because it's an animated movie, but not animated movies the way you would think.
Okay.
It does a procedure that's called rotoscoping, which sounds like a painful medical procedure, but it's really a type of animation where you take the film and you just trace over it, right? You trace over every single frame in the movie, which makes it very realistic looking, but painstaking. Disney started this with Sleeping Beauty and some of those things where they show them dancing and it looks really like a realistic dance. It's because they traced over real people that are dancing. Anyway, so that's just a little history in there. But so it's got a fun cast of Robert Downey Jr., Woody Harrelson, and him. It's kind of a dystopian future where there's this drug called D that's made from blue flowers, and it just is just running rampant. And you got it's kind of a little bit of a police state type thing because everybody's really cracking down on this drug. And it's just crazy animation where it's this realistic animation that morphs into craziness going on around them throughout the whole thing. So it's not that it's like the best movie, even though I think it's an interesting movie. For me, it's like the whole thing about this animation that they did, which there's a whole backstory to it because the animators and the guy who invented the whole software, how to do this, we're trying to, this is an independent film. This was Warner Brothers independent. So it was a major studio wanting something fantastic done on an independent budget.
So honestly, this sounds expensive though.
The budget for this movie, how much would you imagine? You got those 3 stars.
Okay, and what year though? Because that matters. I'm actually pretty good at this.
It was in the 90s sometime.
Okay,
I can't remember.
Let's assume 90s.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves. Who else is in it?
Robert Downey Jr., Woody Harrelson.
But yeah, he's not Iron Man money.
Yeah,
right,
he was cheap back then because he had a drug problem.
And an animation where if you watch any animation that we do right now, there's 1,000 animators on it.
And so this innovative technology to do this animation.
Right.
One at the time, an A-list level, and then Robert Downey Jr., who's still going to demand a price.
Yeah.
And they wanted an independent money. I'm gonna, while Step in the Dark, assume they went over budget, right?
This movie lost money,
right?
So yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess $30 million.
$8 million.
$8 million?
Yes, $8 million they spent on this movie.
Holy shit!
And they were trying to tell them. So you see all these other animation.
How much did it make?
What? $7 million. And so
so close.
So the thing is, you have all these, you look and you see an army of animators when you watch anything else, right? They were trying to do this with 30 people. They had done a earlier animation that was kind of like this, but not anywhere as complicated. And so they decided, hey, we'll just take that amount of money that we did on that other movie and we'll triple it. Or maybe doubled it. I can't remember what they did, but they were they would have had to quadruple this thing. And so what happened was the animators were working.
They just worked the people that had harder.
Working weekends. They worked all through Christmases, through New Year's Eves, through New Year's Days. They were working, trying to keep up with this, and they couldn't do it. And they were just asking them for more money. And they were like, we're not giving you any more money. So the animators walked off the set. The minute they walked off, they locked them out and confiscated all of their equipment and everything they had. And so then what they did was they gave a new crew all the money they had asked for to finish it. So they gave new people who came in cold and didn't know what was going on and actually didn't do quite as good a job all the money that they were asking for to finish this.
That's some dirty, spiteful shit.
Yeah, but that's Hollywood for you, bro. Yeah, it's something else. Anyway,
you're telling me this same studio can't make a good DC movie?
That is correct. That is correct, sir.
Huh.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah, it's something else. So that was my number 5. A Scanner Darkly.
Interesting. All right, Hailstorms.
Alrighty. I forgot that at the end of that we would be coming back here. Okay, so I was in the story.
I was really into that too. That was a good story.
Okay, so I put on my list a movie that I watched when I was still in high school. That's probably contributed in some small way to my hating to feel things when I watch movies, and that is My Own Private Idaho.
Is this Who Hurt You?
Yeah, this is one of the people on the list. Other movie that hurt me, Untamed Heart, but that's a different story for a different day. So My Own Private Idaho was Keanu Reeves and River Phoenix as two basically kids. I mean, they were still really young. And they were basically turning tricks. They had, I think River Phoenix had a drug problem in the movie. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it for this, but it was just the whole movie. It was just heartbreaking. It just breaks your heart over and over again. It was just sad, but it was a great movie, and he did a good job in it, and that's why it's my number 4.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 4. Are you ready? Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Oh.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Wild Stallions. This movie made me like history. It taught me about Socrates and Genghis Khan. Seems like a fun-loving fella.
Right?
Yeah. And Joan of Arc, all the ones. Yeah, you know what this movie is. It's Bill and Ted, time machine. They go in the phone booth, get all these historical characters, bring them back because they want to make the best history report ever. But you know what? All jokes aside, all nonsense aside, this movie had a great message, and that is be excellent to each other. And if you think that I can't fucking wait for the sequel, for the long-awaited final chapter in the trilogy, you're right. I fucking can't. I can't wait for the next Bill and Ted. It's going to be awesome. Also, shout out to Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. A lot of people hate on that movie. I thought it was hilarious. That's my number 4.
My number 4 is Constantine.
Yeah!
Now, Constantine.
That was a very loud cheer.
Very loud.
I mean, you've said it's basically.
I didn't think anybody else would have that movie.
It's a comic book movie, so I like it. I mean, I had to. It was one of my last minute decisions last night. I actually, as you can see on my list, I hadn't filled in my number 5 and was still jockeying for what I thought was going to be where. So I watched that, and
then it shot to number 4.
What's that? Yeah. It's for me. It's a comic book movie. I mean, I have this thing where, and this might be unpopular, most every Keanu Reeves role is the same to me.
Yeah, it's what dial, baby.
So, I mean, I almost put a Man of Tai Chi on this till I started watching. I go, he's barely in this movie. It's really about somebody else. So yeah, I mean, it's really cool. There's some interesting stuff with this. I mean, the characters in this, a lot of the other characters are very interesting in Constantine. It's interesting to see, like you say, him interacting with the demons and stuff. There's some weird comments that are made in this that crack me up. Like, for instance, when he's putting the girl in the bathtub and he says, "Ask me if there's any water in hell." She goes, "Is there any water in hell?" Mm-hmm. And he doesn't answer her. And then there's another one
hand on the belly. Yes, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's
but
so
I mean,
big.
But he's getting in there. He goes, "Ask me if there's any water in hell." Is there any water in hell? I'm not gonna answer you. That's weird.
Dramatic pause.
Yeah, and then
That's
okay, I guess maybe that was a rhetorical question. You really didn't want me to ask you. And so then there's the other one where he gets knocked on the ground. He goes, "Oh, you just ruined $100 shirt." If you have to announce that it's $100 shirt, you probably can't afford a $100 shirt. You probably shouldn't have been wearing it out there where you get all roughed up. It's just weird. This was a $100 shirt. It was weird. So there's a lot of weird stuff that probably nobody else thinks is funny that I think is funny in this. The other thing that's interesting to me, and maybe you can answer this question to me, is throughout this movie, you're talking about demons, you're talking about angels, and you're talking about half-bred half-breed demons and angels. Are the angels and the demons fucking people? I'm wondering how we're getting half-breed angels and demons. Tell me.
I'll answer this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So apparently
They are indeed fucking people.
there's some.
Is that a surprise to you?
I mean, the Greek gods, Zeus fucked every freaking human
But
chick he
there's
could
so
find.
many of them running around. It must be happening a lot.
I mean, on the demon side, I don't really think it's
Show of
consensual.
hands, has anybody been fucked by either an angel or a demon in this room?
I'm gonna not weigh in on this one.
Okay. How about you?
No.
I have not. So it's probably not as prevalent as we're led to believe in the movie.
No.
Guess.
But I like to lead my life based on what makes the most interesting story. So if there are angels or demons listening, I volunteer as tribute.
I
Let's
expect
just see
them
what
to be
happens.
very hot on either side. Whether the demons
Like on fire hot, they're demons.
Demons are
like,
hot.
like super
Like caliente.
Ay, yeah.
Like what?
So yeah,
Ay,
we
ay,
know
ay.
that. In most of the movies where there are demons, eventually they show like their true selves, but they are like a hot person when they're not. Do you know what I mean? Like they show that they're like,
Like I know what you mean, but I want you to keep explaining it.
Yeah. I keep explaining. We want to hear more.
I don't think all the facial expressions translate.
The thing from Starship Troopers popped in my head. Would you like to know more? It's like, yes. Talk.
So, but another interesting thing is you already talked about when he's getting floated into heaven and he gives Devil the flip off.
Oh,
and,
that was great.
And the devil says, "Oh no, I'm not going to let you die." And he digs his hands into his
that looks
lungs.
fucking terrible.
And he pulls out his cancer and cures him.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have him live for a long time.
'Cause he knows
you're
he's
not
gonna fuck
dying
up.
now.
Yeah.
So his cancer looked gross, man.
That's
It was
very
all
gross. But there are
dripping.
some really cool shit like scenes in the movie, like when he like into the light I command thee and fucking puts his hands to his forearms together.
Yeah.
And, like there are some like for every like stupid cheesy moment, there's like a really awesome moment also. That's why this movie is like
And here's
crazy.
and spoiler alert, a lot of the stupid cheesy moments when in a comic book movie or something else like that to me are awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
for us they work. Like they
cheese
work.
isn't bad for me in a lot of
no.
movies. I mean I couldn't like a lot of Nick Cage movies if I didn't want somebody doing some cheesy stuff. He does some crazy stuff that I think is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's it. That's all for me. Constantine.
Okay.
Constant.
Number 3. My number 3, Speed.
Dun 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 dun.
So I remember watching Speed when it came out and just being so excited during the whole, like all of it worked for me. I mean, I was young. It was an amazing action movie. I live for action movies and just that whole, you know, I just loved it. I don't know what to say other than that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's okay.
That's what
Pop quiz. hot
Sometimes
shot.
that's enough.
Yeah, that's all you gotta say
Yeah.
is that you love the movie.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
That all you got then? Moving on.
That's all I got for that.
My number 3. Pop quiz, hot shots. A madman has a gun to your partner's head. What do? Shoot the hostage. Speed is also my number 3. Up top, Hailstorms.
Woo!
First of all, Keanu Reeves plays Jack, not John, in this movie, but it's close.
Jack is a derivative of John.
So
Yeah.
he plays Jack, which is a derivative of John. You
One of our presidents was named John. They called him
you
Jack.
learn
I have an
stuff
Uncle
on this
John.
podcast. So this movie's great. Okay, so it stars Keanu Reeves as the main character. God, who's the guy from Dumb and Dumber? And that's also in this. He was also in The Newsroom.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, what is
the
his
blonde
name?
Head,
Yeah,
blonde-haired guy.
very, very. So what is
Jeff-
his name? Jeff something. Oof, damn it.
If only you had
She's
your laptop.
she's
open.
got the Google
But
going.
see, we had a
It's not on.
conversation
It's
about
not.
his computer.
So
Keep
it's
talking
so
while
Jeff
she's
Daniels.
Yes.
Jeff
Daniels
Yeah.
nailed it because of
I
the
didn't
laptop.
even have a computer or phone in front of me.
For those of you listening to this, I totally looked it up on the laptop. So Jeff Daniels, they're partners, and this movie's great. So what's the name of the guy who plays the villain in this?
Dennis Hopper.
Okay, Dennis
Yeah.
Hopper. Dennis Hopper is.
Why am I the guy who doesn't even know what a freaking actor's
amazing
name
to
in
me.
Hollywood?
I can't.
Like,
Yeah,
come on.
of everyone in this room, including the live studio audience, I couldn't believe you were the one who got that.
Right. Right.
No, he's basically the Joker in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he
I was
is-
gonna say, oh,
dude,
never mind.
When
I
you
just
get to this later,
let a cat out of the bag.
he's the Joker in this movie. He is so unbelievably amazing and maniacal, and the laugh that he does. But he has like a contingency plan for his contingency plan. He is like the best villain in this, and like Keanu Reeves is just like the gun ho, like, you know, shoot first your partner if he's a hostage, and, you know, like react later. And like we all know the plot of this movie is bombing the bus hits 50, bomb his arm, bus drops under 50, boom, and he gets on the bus because sure, and then all of it is just this bus, which the city of LA literally becomes a character as like they're trying to like navigate around and like keep this thing maintaining speed. There's a couple of scenes. That motherfucking bus is not doing 50 miles an hour. Like when it's taking the curve and going up, like, I don't know how fast.
That is
George
not.
Michael's in this movie.
But whatever, it's fine. Everything about it is dumb and ridiculous and over the top, cheesy 90s action, and it works in the best possible way. Sandra Bullock is great. All like the main characters on the bus, including Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, he's on this movie, are great in this. Like everything about this movie works from beginning to end. The only critique I would have is the third act when they're on the train. You really didn't need any of that. It could have just ended when the bus went up. But other than that, fantastic, utterly rewatchable. The song just gets you hyped up. I love this movie. It's one of the better 90s action movies. I think it was really high on that list when we did that. So Speed is my number 3.
So in Constantine, when he's standing there, and then all of a sudden a bus comes whipping past him like 50 miles an hour behind him, I was like, oh, come on. Come on. Really? Anyways, my number 3, Speed.
Yes!
Not joking. Not fucking joking. Not joking.
You know what?
We've never had it all be the
three
same number.
on the same number.
Yeah, we've all had the same movie before, but not across the board.
You know
same
what?
number.
I think
awesome.
that's on the bingo board that's on Instagram.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's drinking
Everybody
bingo.
drinks.
Everybody
It's a drinking game. Everybody
Yep.
take a drink. Here we go.
Great minds think alike. So why do you like Speed?
Oh boy, for all the same reasons. I mean, Dennis Hopper for me is really a Joker-like character, and he is just everything that you said about him. Who doesn't like a plot where you have everything is you have to go fast. You're going fast. You're going fast. Even when they wound up on the subway, there, everybody, you're moving, you're going fast. It adds to this movie tension. It adds tension that standing still can't add to it.
Right.
We have to go. We have to keep going. We have to keep going fast. Everything's hanging off of vehicles and coming at you 50 miles an hour.
And the bus careening around corners and
when it hits the baby stroller,
Cans. It was just cans. It was just cans.
Yeah. She thinks she hit the baby. And so here's all. It's a crazy movie. It's good though.
My adrenaline's popping just talking about it.
Right.
There is a lot of good chemistry between Sandra Bullock and
that.
him.
Yeah.
They did a really great job of those two together.
And she
being
hadn't
the
done a
main
lot
focal
before
point.
that, right?
No.
She wasn't like a name yet.
No,
right?
no, not at all.
And forget Keanu Reeves movies. This is just a
It's just a
really
good
good
movie.
action movie.
Yeah.
I mean, on your list of action movies, Speeds are just a really good action
And just
movie.
the dialogue. So like I love the scene when it shows his lair finally, and he has like all these fucking tube TVs going with all the news feeds. And so he would call Jack on the phone, and the conversations that they get, like when the first bus blows up and then he calls at the payphone and he's like, what do you think, Jack?
It's like the Joker and Batman.
He's like, you think if you collect all the bus drivers' teeth, they'll give you another medal? I was like, that's some Joker shit.
Yeah.
That is some Joker shit.
Yeah.
And I
That's a
think
good movie.
if you were above, like if you were a teenager or older in the 90s when this came out, everybody saw this movie. There wasn't a person that did not know this movie.
I was 9, but this was a huge movie.
Yeah.
Everyone was into this.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah.
An awesome
Good
movie.
movie. That's number 3, Speed.
It's gonna be hard to follow. Number 2.
Okay, so my number 2, Constantine.
Yes.
So-
I really thought I was gonna be the only one that had that movie on here.
So I love cheesy action movies with like a good understory, and that's what this was for me. There's a lot. I mean, there's not too much I can do to expand on it that you guys haven't already hit. Aside from my favorite line is when she asks him if God has a plan, and he said, "God's just a kid with an ant farm. There's no plan."
I have used that line
Yeah.
in just
Yeah.
regular conversation.
Yeah, this is just an experiment to see what'll happen.
Yeah.
But speaking of good villains, the devil in this is
so good.
he's one of my favorite portrayals.
When
of
he,
somebody
oh my
playing
god,
the
when
devil.
like he's trying to light the.
he's like,
For the tendons.
He's like barefoot, and he looks like he's been just wading through tar or some kind of just nasty grossness.
Yeah,
he's in a white suit, though, of course.
Yeah.
And he's all up close to him, almost close enough to lick John Wick. I mean, not John Wick.
Is that foreshadowing for your next movie?
John Constantine on the face, and he's turning around. It's almost like Alien, that scene from Alien,
It is.
where the alien's just right up on, Anytime, there's a lot of ways that you build tension in movies, like in Speed with all the going fast, and that kind of invading people's body,
and put you on ease.
personal bubble is a good way.
But then little shit they did in that was so good. So like when John, he slits his wrist to get the devil to show up to come get him, and he's trying to light a cigarette and he can't, and the devil
he dies. He's trying to kill himself.
But he's bleeding out.
Right.
But the devil shows up because he's paused
to take his soul.
him.
Yeah.
But before, John's trying to light one last cigarette, and he can't light his lighter, and the fucking devil's like, you can when you sever the tendon. It gets all creepy, and he gets the lighter, and this is the funniest thing in the whole movie. Lights it, puts it out, and John leans to it, and then he moves the lighter. And then he moves it again. and then Keanu Reeves just looks at him like, really, bro? And he just laughs. And then,
I'm dying here. All right, I'm dying here.
That was not jokes.
I've never met the devil.
Yeah.
That seems like some shit he would do.
Right.
Oh, sorry. This is your...
No, it's fine.
We're just talking about... Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Why do you like it?
Well, I think it's funny that you picked it as your number 5 and talked about how cheesy it was, and there was a point where I'm like, oh, that's what I liked about it. I mean, I like the story. I like that it's a deeper level of story, and whenever we deal with like the God and the devil stuff, there's a lot of people that don't like that at all. They don't like to even talk about it. I think it's interesting stuff to delve into because it is something that we don't like to. But you can't get a better good versus evil story than that.
Who plays Gabriel? Tilda Swinton? Is that who that is?
Yes.
She's great in the movie also.
Yeah, and Gabriel's a dick.
He's kind of a dick.
Come on.
A little bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. That's all I got to say. You're almost as bad as Cypher.
Oh, don't get you started on Cypher. Great because the story was really good, and then it had just a little bit of comic book cheese in it. He had Keanu Reeves doing what Keanu Reeves does. Mm-hmm. One of the first comic book movies that had like a post credit scene. Also, a lot of people probably don't remember that, but it was Shia LaBeouf was in it. The way he died was fucked. So everything about it was pretty good. Yeah, I liked it. All right.
He was good in this movie too.
Yeah,
I like.
Because it was before he got too big for his britches.
And he was funny, and it was good. He wasn't over the top.
Yeah.
He was understated. It was good.
Yeah. It was good times. Okay, my number 2, John Wick. I think I accidentally slipped when I was talking in the last segment, and I think I called him John Wick in this movie.
Just say John.
Yeah, so John. So in this movie, John's still having a bad day. We all know John Wick. Wife dies, puppy dies. He murders anybody who had anything remotely to do with said puppy death. So this movie is great. We've talked about this. I've talked about this before on other countdowns, so I'm not going to beat it to death like his puppy. But
oh, too soon. Too soon.
But I love the build to this. This might be one of the perfect action movies. The way they build him up, the way Theon Greyjoy goes to his dad and he explains who...
It cracks me up when you use character names from a different thing.
Theon Greyjoy? He's great at it. When he explains who he is, he's like, this is John fucking Wick.
He's like, what?
No, and just the scene...
You dumb kid.
And then as he's telling him who he is, he's like, gets a sledgehammer and he's breaking the concrete to get his shit. And he's like, Father, I will fix this. And he's like, you will do nothing because you can do nothing. John is a man of sure fucking will. Just like he knows my empire is gone. Like I'm gonna do everything I can to stop it. We're dead. We're all dead. And like he knows it, and it's brilliant. I could talk about John Wick all day. Not gonna do that. But John Wick is my number 2 Keanu Reeves movie of all time. Oh, by the way, for my list, because very easily I could have had all 3 John Wicks somewhere on here. I was like, one movie per series, you know what I mean? So like one John Wick movie. If there were other movies that he had sequels in, that's how I kind of do my list. So yeah, John Wick, my number 2.
Well, for my number 2, it was of course another John, and of course you've looked at my list already. It was John Wick is my number 2.
Snoogans.
We talked about John Wick a lot, and of course it's everything that you said. I mean, his for me, has some layers to it where they've added to what your regular standard plots are, because usually in your standard plot is you have a wife and somebody did something bad to her or whatever, and so you're getting revenge from that. So in this one, you got the layer of the tragedy that she died of natural causes, and it was horrible, and it was hard on him, and it was something he's trying to recover from and figure out some way to keep going on. So that's rough. And then it's the getting kicked when you're down, and that's the punch in the gut is his wife, who wonderful woman, who's planned ahead for her death, and she's thinking about her husband who's going to be left behind.
But it's such a punch in the stomach.
She says he's going to need something to love. He's going to need something for him to concentrate on to keep him going. So she sends him the most adorable little beagle puppy named Daisy. Daisy, the most adorable puppy, and he's acting like he's still grief distraught, and he wants to act like a tough guy still. So he's acting like he doesn't really love the puppy, but we all know secretly he loves the puppy, and it means so much to him. And then they come and they kill his fucking puppy, and this fucking
innocent puppy,
spoiled little gangster kid that doesn't even know who the hell he's messing with, who it doesn't even know what's what in the world yet, but he's got some rich gangster dad and thinks he's somebody, but man, he pays for that shit.
But speaking of him, like, they do little things in this movie to really sell that character, like the scene when they're in the club and when they're all in the pool and they're drinking, and the one gangster like says you're a fucking idiot and like snatches the bottle out of his hand, and he's partying and his boys are there and he has bitches, and then he throws like a little tantrum. He's like, I want another fucking bottle. Get me another bottle. Like a little baby. It is
spoiled little
hilarious.
Rich kid.
And the way they built this world, this total video game world with its own currency and like save houses and like an assassin code was amazing. So the Gung Fu was amazing. I wasn't going to talk about it this much. Sorry.
Well, it was the first step to that building.
And then it just got crazier.
So it's kind of a subtle step where you see this, and of course before the rest, I'd seen the other ones. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a thing. But, and I was already like, am I supposed to believe that this is kind of real, or are we going into fantasy? And then it's like, oh no, you answered it for me with your other movies. This is completely crazy fantasy.
Two of my favorite cars of all time, he rocks in this movie, specifically the Mustang 69 Boss 302, or was it a 429? Can't remember. But great freaking car.
You know more about cars.
And then the Chevelle he gets to replace it is freaking also awesome. But everything about this movie is great.
It's one of the best action movies, and this is
an original action movie, not based on anything.
And there's things that I like about this, and I like that Keanu Reeves, who is not on the top of your list of action heroes, okay? He's not some muscle-bound, super fit, scary-looking, strong guy you think if you walked up to him, he would beat you up. He looks like a guy, I think I can kick this guy's ass. So they take this guy who's not a action hero.
He's not that guy,
a figure, and he's not a guy who you walk up and think that he's scary, but not only do they make him into that, but he goes out and trains to become a person that's proficient with weapons and fighting. And so he takes that stuff so serious that he becomes a version, a more subtle version, he's not John Wick, of that person in real life to play that character.
So to build on those 2 points, watch, if you guys haven't, he has YouTube training videos of him learning how to go through obstacle courses and shit with all these weapons, and I pity anybody who breaks into his house. Right. They're dead before you know it.
Pretty amazing.
And also, the concept of he doesn't look like much, but then when you see him wreck people, that makes him scarier because he's not advertising it. And like this reputation that he has, you continuously hear about through all 3 movies, and it just gets backed up time after time.
I still think I can beat up Keanu Reeves. If anybody wants to set up a fight with me and Keanu Reeves, I'll fight him.
Set it up!
You feel like you could beat up anyone's grandpa.
He's actually a little bit older than me.
Is
so
he?
Yeah.
Okay. Hellstorms, number 2.
Okay. No, we're on number 1.
Hellstorms, number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I made my list, and oftentimes when I make a list, I can figure out a movie that'll be on your guys' list. And so sometimes I try to see if there's a different movie Like, I don't like overlap on the list because I think it's less interesting for people when they watch.
I concur. You also got to be true to yourself, but sure.
Right. So this time I knew 2 movies that were going to be on your guys' list.
Are you telling me John Wick's not your number one?
And I worked really hard to within myself to do some soul searching and see if I could go without putting this movie on my list. But yeah, my number one's John Wick.
Because you can't not, because it's so good.
It is. And you say that you don't think of Keanu Reeves as an action star, but I think John Wick put
Now
him on
you
the
do.
map.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he completely changed who he was and who his reputation was. And now he's become synonymous with like hot guy, which he was not that 10 years ago. That was not what you thought of as Keanu Reeves. He was kind of a little bit of a joke actor because he does do a variation of the same character every time. And he did, Bill and Ted's.
I think for a time after Bill and Ted, though, for a while, like around Point Break time, people thought he was some type of a heartthrob.
Yeah,
or
Point
some
Break.
Kind of,
But
he was portrayed as like a good-looking dude in that.
Right.
And an action
he was
guy,
a
right?
good-looking dude, but he was still like surfer dude.
Some
know what I
people
mean?
like the surfer dudes.
Yeah, not a fan. But this movie actually, he became a grown-up actor. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's done some serious stuff, but even like Dracula was kind of.
But
some cringy
the
parts.
scene in this movie when they finally are gonna kill him and they're gonna put the bag over his head and he's got that reserved calm and then he finally snaps
Right.
and screams and he's like, and if you don't get me, you'll die screaming. Like that scene, I was just like, I love you, Keanu, because he brings it in that scene.
He tapped into
Now,
some inner rage for that.
He's still just Keanu Reeves at 15. But it's still, it's amazing.
Like he
good.
grew a little somewhere and changed.
But then
his
it made
acting
all
style.
that character being stoic throughout the rest of the movie, all of a sudden tied that all together, and like he was just holding in all the rage. Like it made it work on like the narrative level, which made the whole fucking thing great.
You know what? And I just want to touch back on the fact you want an entire world of people to buy in to your revenge plot against somebody. Kill a puppy.
How do you instantly get everybody on your side?
Right. You
kill a puppy.
Everybody was on board.
Yeah.
Because even if they killed his wife, some people would be like, "Well, murder's never okay."
Yeah.
They killed a puppy.
There was a puppy.
All of them dead.
Yeah.
Was it a grown dog or was it a puppy? It was a puppy.
And like you said, it just coincidentally was like the cutest beagle puppy on the planet.
Was the puppy was it like 15? Was it like on its last leg? No, it was a goddamn puppy.
With puppy eyes and everything.
And it crawled over to die next to him.
Was it at
saw
least
this
mean?
streak of blood.
No, it was the most adorable thing ever. Yeah.
So yeah, number one, I couldn't help but have John Wick as my number one.
Despite your best efforts.
I tried not to, but
that's
I
a
was like,
testament
I
to the movie.
can't
It's
not
that
do it.
good.
Yeah, I can't not have it on the list.
So much like you, my number 2 and my number 1, I feel like most people knew what they were going to be if you watched the show at all. And I tried. And by tried, I mean I thought about it kind of. My number 1 is The Matrix.
What?
God, I know. Spoilers.
Right.
Not going to talk about it too much because we just did a classic review on it. Go ahead and go check that out if you haven't. It's also been the top of my list literally anytime I could work it onto a countdown. I love this movie. One of the greatest movies of all time. One of the best action movies ever. One of the most innovative movies ever. Keanu Reeves at his peak Keanu Reevesness. Whoa. It's amazing. It's a great movie. I love it. Weapon 2. What could possibly be your number 1?
I'm not even going to play. My number 1 is Matrix.
Thank you.
The thing is that I can't even pretend like I'm going to pick something else because these are two, John Wick and The Matrix for sure, are two of his best movies that he's ever done. And
Yes.
I can't, the best characters that I buy into 100%.
When he dies, these will be his legacy.
Yeah.
John
So
Wick
I
and The Matrix.
Can't let go. I'm just gonna try to pick something different because I can't. To me, those are the best. And so, you said that you think that he became a big boy and a grown-up actor when he got to John Wick. I think that was with The Matrix. I think that's
you're
when he
probably
became
right,
a
but remember that
serious.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah,
part of
Shannon.
that.
That was the first role.
Yeah, he's really not surfer dude in that much.
I just really in a lot of things and it's hit and miss, but he's always Keanu Reeves and borderline surfer dude, and he's always got a weird cadence to his voice where it's not like he's talking like a normal person like we're talking right now. It's like he's kind of talking, he's got this weird kind of unsettling cadence to his voice when he's talking that never sounds natural ever in any movie to me that I watch. But in some situations, it doesn't make a difference. It almost kind of enhances the character. I mean, I think that kind of a little bit of weirdness in delivering your lines enhances a character like Neo. I think in a kind of a strange alternate reality of assassins where there's all kinds of craziness going, a weird delivery of lines and cadence to the voice doesn't fucking make. In fact, I would think that maybe some guy who's a trained assassin might talk weird. So to me, none of that bothers me. We've talked Matrix to death. It's a great movie. It's all about what our biggest fear, AI, and how the robots are going to take over. And we already know it's going to happen. Be prepared. And
that's as dead as John Wick's puppy.
Yeah.
I have a few honorable mentions real quick. The Replacements. Love that movie. Best line in that movie. Pain heals. Chick stick scars. Glory lasts forever. Devil's Advocate. Best line of that movie. Pacino. Come on. Fuck your sister. Bram Stoker's Dracula. And Street Kings. My honorable mentions. You guys got any?
Some of yours that you just said were some of my honorable mentions. He's got a lot of good
few
movies.
of those.
He has made a lot of movies.
Devil's Advocate was on my list for most of
mine
this,
too.
and it got bumped. Last minute, it got bumped.
Every single one of those movies were on my list at one time. So.
Devil's Advocate and Constantine to me had a little. They were too close.
They're very similar.
Yeah.
It's just, do you want to go super serious drama or throw in some comic booky action?
Right.
But I haven't watched that in a long time. Like, I just remember Pacino so fucking good in that movie.
He has some amazing lines.
Really good in that movie.
Some I had written down, and then when I reconfigured my list, that piece of paper is gone. But he had some amazing lines in that movie.
Really good in that
I'm
movie.
always going to go with the superhero aspect where he has to sit in a room with his feet in water and grab a cat by the face and stare at its eyes to get to hell. That's crazy stuff.
The look on that cat's face was the fuck.
I thought the cat was going to bite him.
He did not like that at all.
You're like, that can't be John Wick that's holding that cat when we're looking at the camera angle. That's got to be the person that owns it, because that cat would bite somebody else's face.
He's like
off.
shoving his face.
Got it by the sides of the cheek, and he's glaring into its eye. One eye's pupils open more than the other, so it looks like a crazy cat anyways with the big fangs coming up. That cat's in trouble. That's all I got to say.
Well, those are our favorite Keanu Reeves
Nope,
movies
I
of
also
all
had
time.
Point Break.
Oh, Point Break. Okay, I thought for sure one of you guys were gonna have that one.
I also had Point Break.
FBI agent.
Well, when you led with that line, I thought you were gonna have it.
Yeah.
It swerved.
3 off. Nice work.
So,
nice
hey,
work,
what are
Weapon
your
2.
favorite Keanu Reeves movies? Let us know in the comments. Sound off. Let us know how wrong we are. All right, Weapon 2.
All right, here we go.
What time is it?
We got a little segment that we like to call This or That. We have a little thing that we like to do at the beginning of this. That's where we say the name of this segment so fast. I mean, I don't even know what we're going to do. It could tear a hole in the time continuum. We could spin the world backwards and go back in time. I don't know what the hell's going to happen
My
if we
goal
don't get fast enough.
every time is to get into the Speed Force. The
Speed Force?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Let's give it a whirl.
We also have a little thing that we like to do, and it's not telling our studio audience that we're going to do it, but who cares? Tasha, go!
This.
Or
That.
what?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Let's go. Keep going, folks.
Or
That.
Are you saying shrew?
Hey,
like the little woodland creature?
Just let her go. Yeah, she doesn't
I already missed.
explanation. Let's
I'm
go.
also sorry I said.
Come on. Let's do 2 more times. We're going to do this 2 more times. In succession. Let's go. Everybody ready? Let's go.
Or
That.
This.
Or
That.
why are you changing? Say woodchuck. Change it up.
Come on, man.
You know what? You
What
guys
is
are
a
shooting.
Captain Mal might have been the weak link. In this
I'm
one
always
today.
the winkling.
You guys are shooting for breaking down the space.
You're
time
saying
continuum.
shrew.
Shawoo!
Woo!
I'm on board. I think that was perfect. Good work.
You know what? She did her homework. Yeah.
Good job.
I thought she
Good
was
job.
talking about the small rodents.
No, come on, man.
You know what? It doesn't
The
matter.
taming
what
of?
you
Is
think
it the taming of? Is that what we're trying to
Shrew.
All right, folks. Here we go. Question number 1. The primary wielder of the power cosmic, devourer of worlds, Galactus. his constant, overwhelming hunger for the energy from planets to sustain himself and remain in existence. Is he an evil villain or not? Why?
What?
No.
It's a lot of words.
No, he is not an evil villain. Negative. Not at all. Because he is just doing what a being of that kind of unbelievable power would do. Right? There's an old adage that, what is it? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's just talking about like human beings. So imagine power on a scale beyond our comprehension. So the decisions he would, so are we being like evil and mean to ants that live in a tree when we chop the tree down to make paper and shit like that? That's how he perceives us. We're not even life forms on his level. He doesn't even give us that kind of thought, I don't think. So no, I don't believe him to be evil. He's just doing some gnarly shit to us.
Yeah, he's convinced me. Yeah, Captain Mel convinced me.
See, it's actually further a more, drastic.
It's a very philosophical question.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's more like us killing bacteria.
Yeah, it's less than ants. Yes, good point. It's less. It is so much less
of what they're doing, and it's amazing that he lets the superheroes in the Marvel universe get on his conscience.
It's funny that he gives them a chance
to change his mind. Yeah,
and it's funny that he even talks to them.
And they can battle him. I mean, much like viruses battle us. I guess. Battle him to a standstill.
He is about as close to like God or a god, a real god in the Marvel. I think the Marvel universe actually has a real god figure in it.
That's one above all.
One above all, right? Yeah. But he, like, as far as what we would perceive it to be, he's freaking a god. So
well, he existed in the previous universe.
Yeah,
he was there when the previous universe ended, and he was there during the Big Bang, and he combined with an entity from that previous universe to become Galactus. Do you know that Galactus, looking the way he looks to every single planet like they look on their planet. So he doesn't look like this humanoid person.
Yeah, that's
he
not his
looks
actual
like that
form.
to us, because that's what we look like.
That's how we perceive him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he is a super. And do you know that for a little while here he was called the Life Bringer?
I did not know that.
He had switched over and used, I think it was one of the Infinity Stones from maybe Adam Warlock or somebody, to change so he wasn't hungry. He didn't have to do this, and he even started doing creation instead of devouring.
But you hit the nail on the head. He's the devourer of worlds because that is what he's consuming for energy, for power. It's the same as us eating food. It's not a malicious act.
It's not personal.
No, he does it because he has to do to exist.
It's the same shit.
And so, then I can't remember what happened. Somebody was being evil on some planet, and so he had to devour that planet to save the world or save the universe, which got him back into devouring planets again.
Which is why
it's like when you stop being vegetarian.
Yeah.
So it's like people are talking about like where the MCU is going to go next, and everyone's excited with the Fox acquisition because now Galactus could be a thing, right?
Galactus and Doom, those are the two people I'm super
excited
about.
But it's just funny when like in Infinity Wars they're talking about Thanos is the most powerful being in the universe. Is like, you guys, no, he's really not. You motherfuckers don't know. Like,
we're just waiting.
He's the most badass one now.
I mean, we still haven't really seen Celestials.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
and even the Eternals who are coming out here in some movie that's to be released when all this is over. They're on the same level as Thanos. Yeah. So yeah,
I feel like we just nerded out hard. Didn't we?
We did. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
So we're here for, guys. So we're here for, kids.
Well, this one will be pretty simple. This one will be fun. Get ready, folks.
Sorry, Hailstorm. We kind of just talked right over you there.
That's all right.
Was there something you're going to say?
No, we're good. Keep going. No, we're good.
I'm sorry.
That literally had nothing to do with that.
Here we go, folks. Ducks, Daffy or Donald, and why?
What?
Ducks, Daffy or Donald, and why?
Daffy. I'm going to go Daffy because Daffy's Warner Brothers, who Batman is also Warner Brothers, and I know there's no crossover or anything, but, I'm loyal.
I'm going Donald.
Also, like the rabbit season, duck season, the Looney Tunes, that was a big part of my childhood. I like Donald Duck. I like all that, but like the Looney Tunes, that was huge for me. So
yeah.
Those are really racist also back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, we don't even want to go down that road.
Yeah, no, it was rough.
It was. There was a lot of people who made some bad decisions back then.
Yeah.
When,
but totally Donald because of bugs and all that. Or wait,
Yeah.
You said
Daffy.
Daffy.
Yeah, we know.
Daffy.
Yeah, we're
I
keeping on
said
track.
Donald because he has a rich uncle.
Oh, Scrooge McDuck?
Yeah.
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 And Huey, Dewey, and Louie?
Yes, his adorable
His
nephew.
nephews?
By the way, Weapon 2, have you finished Ozark?
I have.
How does
I
that
finished it
have to
also.
do with anything?
Yeah.
We should.
What do you think?
I'm gonna tie it all in
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I loved it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We should review it. That said, the reason this ties in, the best line in that entire show is episode 1, season 1, when the cartel is telling him he needs to go pull all his money out, all like $8 million of it, and go clean it for them. And he has to do it or he's going to get murdered. He has to do it like that day. So he's going to the bank trying to pull out all his $8 million, which, as you could suspect, it's going to raise a bunch of red flags. Like, he goes in there to get it, and freaking people are walking up to him with like a sign. It's like, are you in distress? Or what, getting him for wires. And they try to be like, no, like, you can't do that. You can't pull out all the money because of this, then this, and this, and this thing, and that. All this, like, you know, red tape is going to happen. And he's like, and then all of a sudden he goes Walter White on these motherfuckers, and he just goes on this tangent about how if you actually thought I was in distress, the money would be here right now, and I don't give a shit about fees, I don't give a shit about this, about that policy or that policy. This is my money, and if I want to pour it all in a giant swimming pool and go fucking Scrooge McDuck with it, I can do that. Give me my money. Next shot, him rolling out with all his cash. It was that moment, and I was like, all right, I think I'm into this show.
I like
Well played, live studio audience.
Daffy because he's so daffy. He's zany. That guy, he's like
Brown
spinning
water
around
in my
and
nose.
feet going into the air.
That was fun.
And
It was
I
fun for
do
me.
like Looney Tunes more than Disney, so that's why I would go Daffy. Yeah.
All right. That was a good one.
But there are a lot of good characters. I mean, when you started talking about his extended family, I was going, there are some good characters.
But, I mean, not to build on this real quick.
I'm glad I didn't throw Scrooge McDuck out there because I'd probably go Scrooge McDuck.
I was going to say, if we're saying who's your favorite duck?
What?
Oh, who's your favorite duck?
Of those two.
No. Who's your favorite duck?
Scrooge McDuck probably for me.
Darkwing Duck. Let's
Howard-
get dangerous.
Howard the Duck.
That's a good one. Yes.
Darkwing Duck. When
fact,
there's
I
trouble,
would-
you call DW.
Now that you threw out another good thing, I may go Howard too. There's a lot of good ducks out there,
lot of-
folks.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah?
DuckTales. Woo.
More ducks than I had imagined when I was making that question out. All right, here we go. Speaking of cartoons,
Okay.
Disney. You have talking mice, talking ducks. Goofy's a talking dog. Why can't Pluto talk, and why is he a pet?
You said Disney, and the Tailspin songs are stuck in my head now.
Because he was just singing that.
Bum,
So,
bum, 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 bum. Was he?
wasn't there something that Goofy wasn't
like there was
a duck?
Goofy's a great
Goofy's a
Dane.
dog.
A dog.
Goofy's a great
First
Dane.
of all. No, I feel like they explained it. They had to have explained it, right? Did they ever?
No. I mean, I don't have an explanation. You give me the explanation if there is one. Why do you have a Great Dane that can talk and you have a yellow dog
Well,
who
everybody
can't
knows
talk and
yellow
he's
dog
treated
is
like a
dog, so it's
pet?
Probably a little dog.
He's the same size. If he stood up, he's taller than Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck.
That's artistic.
This is a great question, isn't it?
This is a good
It
question.
kinda makes you wonder what's
for
going
audio
on with
listeners,
Disney.
Hellstorm
Hey.
and I are Googling this.
So Pluto is an actual dog, which is why he can't talk. Goofy resembles an anthropomorphic dog, but he is more specifically a goof. He was originally created as a human character with the name
What
Dippy
about
Dog.
Mickey Mouse?
In later cartoons, his name changed to Gigi Goof and eventually Goofy.
Well, so Mickey Mouse is an anthropomorphic mouse?
Mickey Mouse can talk.
Yeah, he talks all the time, just like this, folks. Yeah, and
Did you ever see the South Park episode?
And Daffy Duck. How does Daffy Duck
Hey,
talk? Dude, somebody do a Daffy
Did
Duck.
you ever see the episode of South Park where he
Huh?
beats
What?
the shit out of the Jonas Brothers?
No.
No, it was like literally the last untainted thing of my childhood. The Jonas Brothers don't want to sell sexual songs to like preteen girls anymore, so they keep talking about we're not going to do this. And the record label guys are, well, if you do that, the boss is going to come, and they get all terrified. And finally, they decide to freaking stand up to him. And then the boss walks in the door, and it's fucking Mickey Mouse. And he's like, oh, oh, how's it going, guys? I hear we have a problem. And they're like, well, Mr. Mouse, we just don't want to, sell records to like little girls, and we're selling sex. And he's like, oh, well, that doesn't sound like a problem, because I thought we had a fucking and then he just starts beating the fucking shit out of him, like curves. He's like, I thought we had a fucking problem, And it starts like, it is the funniest fucking thing ever.
Hey, you want to hear about something funnier? I have a drawing where I got Mickey Mouse being shanked in a prison big yard by the poo crew. Okay, so if you ever want one of those drawings, let me know. I'll send it to you. You can buy it.
That
from
sticker is actually on my fridge.
Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna go pick it up and I'm gonna put it in front of the camera.
Live studio audience, go grab it.
Bring it here.
Fun fact: do you know why that is only a sticker and has not been a T-shirt?
Because copyright?
Because the
look at
Disney has far-reaching hands, and everybody's afraid to print it.
So you got Mickey Mouse being shanked in the big yard there. You got Donald Duck sneaking off. He doesn't want any part of this mess. And you got Tigger and Piglet shanking Mickey Mouse while Winnie the Pooh holds him. And you got.
I feel like this could have been added in post-production.
There you go.
I mean,
Probably
it could.
better.
We'll add it in post-production.
That's cool.
That was fun.
Also, there's that checked box. Is this content for kids? No.
I mean, we lost that a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
When you guys were yelling "fuck" and
Yeah.
into the microphone.
We'll get better.
I haven't dropped a C-bomb in a long time, though. You're welcome.
Good for
audience.
you.
Yeah, no.
So I guess there's no answer. There's no answer to this
So I
question.
guess what we've learned is that
question.
Mickey Mouse isn't a mouse, Donald Duck isn't a duck.
Was it an
And Goofy
anthropomorphized?
isn't a dog, but Pluto is a dog.
Listen to me.
Yeah?
The difference is
Then what's
the
Chewbacca?
anthropomorphic ones wear clothes, and the Pluto is a dog.
Yeah.
So if I put a pair of pants like so many people like to dress up their animals on Pluto, is he now a talking dog?
Hey, this was from a different time.
All
you
right.
dressed up a
People
dog?
didn't put their pants on their dog. back in
Nobody
the
should
day.
dress up a dog.
I haven't dressed up a dog.
Nobody should do that.
I see it on the internet all the time. People dress up dogs all the time.
Look at that guilty.
Everybody knows it's a real thing. There's nobody out there that doesn't know that that's a real thing.
I have a friend that I went to high school with. She has a giant pit bull, as big. She calls her the hippo,
And dresses it up.
in a tutu.
There you go. See,
And
that's
the
what
dog-
I'm talking about.
the dog wears
and then
a
they can
fancy
talk.
hat everywhere
Once
they
you do
go.
that, they can talk. And some of those people probably think their dogs talk to them.
They can do that. They can talk.
Yeah.
No, but she said the dog will put up with it because it gets way more attention if it wears a hat.
Is she a fan of the show?
I don't know.
You know why the dog puts
Well,
up
then
with
I
it?
don't support this.
The dog puts up with it because she pets it and she feeds it. That's why the dog puts up
No,
with
the
it.
dog.
No, the
loves
dog
wearing
is
hats.
literally like, this is fucking stupid. Oh, do you have ham? I guess I could deal with this.
No.
Let's talk
No,
about the ham
I'm
some
telling
more.
you, in the pictures, the dog looks pleased as punch to be wearing a foofy hat.
How pleased is punch?
Some
Have you ever
dogs-
looked at that
Yeah,
punch
what is-
and
yeah,
it's been like, that's
exactly.
very
What does
pleased?
that even mean?
Okay, we're getting way off
Somebody
topic.
Google that.
Number 5.
All right, we're on number 4.
Are
Number
we like
4.
2 hours into this by now?
Oh, we're only a minute or an hour 19. We're doing
Would
great.
you rather sled down the longest hill imaginable
Yes.
or float in the air in a hot air balloon?
Sledding. Love
Hot air
sledding.
balloon all
So
day.
much fun.
Yeah, I want to. I'm actually really want to do that.
I wouldn't, depending on the how long the hill is, I might go sledding.
Sledding is so much more fun and
Sledding's
so much more of
fun.
an adrenaline rush because you might almost die.
Yeah.
Hot air balloon, it's like la la la, and it's only
Yeah,
fun
except
if
look
you
at the
almost die.
amazing, beautiful scenery that you can only see in that.
I'm gonna do both, just so you know. So I've
All right.
already done sledding, but I would love to do more sledding. Always,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not
always
about
up for
sledding.
sledding.
It's not a thing for me.
What?
I want to get a hovercraft.
I mean, yeah, I want a hoverboard. Where's my freaking
I
hoverboard?
want a hovercraft. Okay, number 5. If you were a unicorn, are you following me? Are we all on the same sheet of music
Oh
here?
my God.
Would you most likely spend most of your time spreading happiness and goodwill or gore people with your horn?
I wish I could say happiness.
I need to be true to myself. I would be a murder unicorn, but only for dumb people and chimos.
In all reality, I would spend half time doing one and half time doing the other.
you
But
didn't
since
give
we
that
can,
as an
I know,
option.
I hear you. So since I can only choose one, gore people with my horn.
You know what? I would love
When
to
I'm backed
be,
into a corner, gore people with my horn.
I would love to be like the voice of light and happiness over here, but I'm not, because if anybody knows me, they would call bullshit pretty quickly.
I already am.
Yeah.
We need to get some
I'm a gore
some
unicorn.
positive people on.
She
this
would gore
podcast.
me
Try.
with the horn
I know
like
who you
after
know.
the podcast is
It's
over.
because we're all fundamentally
the people
broken
that you
people.
know.
That's the problem. We need to meet some normal people.
We don't. Maybe
know any normal
Mischief
people.
Managed is normal-ish.
No, she's not.
She got along with us way too well.
She can't be
way
normal.
too. She's fucked up.
Yeah,
Normal
she just
people
hit
don't
it well.
want to be our friends
No,
because
they
we're
don't.
really messed
They
up.
run away.
Oh,
Once
no.
they meet us and they hear us, they know that we're not who they want to be friends with.
Well, that was a good this or that. That was,
You know what?
That was.
I met everybody in this room, and I want to be friends with everybody in this room more than most people. So maybe that says something about you people.
You know what?
That you're
Yeah.
awesome.
That
You know
you like
what?
bad people.
It's
No,
okay.
that I like awesome people.
You know what? I think that I see his point. It's okay if we all want to gore people with our unicorn horns. At
Some
least
people
we'll do
deserve
it
to be
together.
gored by unicorn horns.
I would like to
Saying.
quote comedian Christopher Titus. When the apocalypse happens, normal people are going to be crying, say, oh my God, and try to huddle with their families.
Mm-hmm.
Screwed up people are going to be like, there's nobody watching the Ferrari dealership. All right. Well, that was this or that. And I dare say, Weapon 2, that was your second best this or that ever.
Nice.
That
might be
was-
third best.
Maybe third. No, but it was good. It was one of
I gotta
the
look.
best.
I gotta look from
I'm
a
a
hailstorm.
third is.
I
fine.
thought that was good. The
was
duck
good.
question alone.
The
I've
duck
had
one
you
is
guys,
good.
duck
That was-
question.
you guys have said I
was
had a
very
couple good ones.
You've had
before,
you've
so-
had. I mean, they're all money, baby. You're
Except
so
for-
money. You
except
don't
for
even
when
know
there
how
was-
money you are.
except for when there was
I'm
math.
just gonna keep trying to do the best. I
Except
can.
for when the fucking math problem.
The math
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've had some low points.
It's
And I'll
okay.
be
You
winners.
learn from your mistakes, and that's what we
what I'm
appreciate
trying
about
to do.
you.
More
Trying to keep it
cartoon
simple.
character questions. I feel like is the way to go. All right.
Alrighty.
Want to plug some social medias? Talk about the Grams hailstorms. What's going on over there?
Yes, we're still out there on the Instagram posting original content. Like and subscribe, like and follow, like us everywhere we are because it makes us feel better about ourselves and the hard work we're doing. It's a lot of work. I mean, the world now is not all one, everything's not all in one place. So we are spreading out and we are creating content for every place that we are, whether it's on Facebook where we have conversations about stuff and we go more in depth about things, or Instagram where we just post pictures all the time, or the website or the blogs or whatever it is. We're creating content all over the place and it's a lot of work. So the payment we get is when you like and subscribe.
It's not even also mix in the getting together, the filming, the editing. Like all of that is also a lot of work.
A lot of work.
We put a lot of time and effort
Lot of
into
work.
this. And every single time we see a new subscriber, we see a new post. Like anytime we post anything and it gets likes and comments and interaction,
Makes us happy.
For real, that's our like all that shit makes my day.
Right.
All the time.
Right. We're not looking for money per se. What we're looking for is to bring happiness to people. And when you like and subscribe, that's how we know that we're doing what we want to be doing.
Like we talked about before, the world kind of sucks right now. And if we can make you forget about that even for a little bit, and we get you guys going in a conversation on like Facebook or something, that's fun. We have a great time with that, and that's us doing our job.
Right.
Well, that's how I think of it anyway. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, hit us up on all that.
Well, I'm not somebody who thinks I'm super cool or anything like that. So when
I
you
think you're
guys,
super cool.
I don't know about that. But so the thing is, I really, actually, really, sincerely, I'm not even kidding, enjoy when people interact with stuff and when people participate and put things down. So if you think that doesn't matter to people who do stuff like this, it does. And I think that it's fun. And I hope that it's fun for people to do stuff like that. And I don't want people to think that oh yeah, I'm not going to do that because maybe they don't care or it might be dumb.
care.
We do care.
Or
We do care.
suggestions. Like I needed to talk to you guys after we get done filming. I got suggestions from multiple other followers about things
Nice.
we should do and talk about
Awesome.
and all that kind of stuff. Even if we don't get to it right away, if it takes us a while, it's not because we think that's trash. It's just because it takes time to get together, to film something, to plan something, to do something. We want to bring you quality stuff, but all of that we appreciate it because it's like, oh, people care, you know what I mean, on the other end, and
Yeah.
that makes us want to keep doing this.
And we love to be interactive, so we love to get feedback about what people want to see because we sometimes run out of ideas too. So it's always good for us to have people throw suggestions at us. So makes it fun.
Yeah.
And speaking of suggestions, we got my blog there. We have my most recent one is where the second most recent one is where we are creating a TWG superhero team that I haven't really got any participation from people from, and I don't know. It's kind of a little depressing for me. I had a few moments where I cried in silence in the corner in the dark, but now I'm recovering from that, and I have added in my newest blog entry 2 characters that I've created I'm not going to tell you who they are. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. You'll have to go and check. But they're two pretty cool characters. I have another person, one of our Patreon subscribers who I've talked to. He has created 2 other characters that will be probably released in my next blog entry. So what I'm saying is check out the blog. If you feel like you want to, or on any of our Facebook posts of this, go ahead and throw out superpowers, costume designs, ideas. We still need a team name for this team when we get done. So I want people to, I created this because I wanted something for people to have fun with and kind of come up with stuff. And so if you want to participate, get in it. Let's get on it. Let's do this.
And just think of it this way. Like, how many times have you read a superhero comic book or watched a superhero movie and had an idea for a character in your head? But it's like, if you're like me, I'm not an artist. I don't know what the hell, how to do any of that. I could have something up here and not ever see it come to life. But you have access to an incredibly talented, dare I say, devilishly good-looking artist who can bring your ideas to life. That's freaking awesome, guys.
Folks,
let's do this together.
Yeah, because what we're going to do is, when we come up with this team, I'm going to do drawings where we're going to be fighting villains. We might come up with a villain team, and I might have all kinds of pictures and panels where they're fighting each other. Nobody else on the face of this earth is going to do that for you, but TWG is.
Yeah.
Okay, so participate, get involved. Let's do this stuff. And
I'm not saying we're better than Marvel,
but
I'm just saying let's do this
we
together.
care more about you than Marvel.
That's
as individuals.
That's for real.
As our
For
fans,
real.
we care about you more.
Yeah.
So,
And on that note, we want to give you shit, right?
yeah, and so what we're going to do here, folks, is we need you to, we're trying to build our subscribership
Segue.
on YouTube. So what we need you to do is go to our YouTube channel. We need you to subscribe. That's what we're trying to do here. That's the name of the game. Subscribe, like our stuff. Feel free to comment. When you comment after you've subscribed, give us some type of way of identifying you or contacting you or something so we know who you are, because on our next giveaway at 300 subscribers, everybody that's been a subscriber that we can identify in any way is going to be in that drawing to get a whole box of wonderful stuff. We put together a box where we'll have a Funko Pop from Funko headquarters in Everett, Washington. We're going to put a logo t-shirt. I almost tried to say a logo t-shirt, but this is Wolverine. This isn't it. No. It's going to look just like that. Right, or you can get our more classic logo that we had originally. Either one. You can pick either one of those. We'll send that to you. We're going to throw in some comic books. It's going to be an original drawing for me. If you tell me whatever character you like, I'm going to do a drawing that's just for you. And what else? All kinds of other
and
stuff.
also, if you, we'll contact you if you win, and you'll tell us things you like, and we'll cater the box to you. We'll try to tailor it to make it a personal thing. And real quick, so do that. But just a quick message to everybody: we appreciate everything and all the support and all their interaction. But the big thing we're trying to do is build our subscribership on YouTube. And to those of you who have subscribed, thank you. Those of you who haven't, please do. But even if you're on the Facebook page and like we post something and you like it, like if we post this podcast video, we appreciate the comments and the interactivity there 1000%. But if you can go to the YouTube video and give that a thumbs up, and comments below in there, that helps the YouTube algorithm. The more interaction we get on every post, every video, means the more likely they will suggest our content to people who are watching similar things, which means the faster our subscribership grows, the more we're going to give you free shit, and the more that our channel grows, the better content is going to be for everybody. So that's our goal, and we'd really appreciate it if you guys can get more interactive on the YouTube. That would help us out tremendously. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Anything else you guys want to say?
No, we're just going to do this thing. We're all in this together. We're going to do this thing. TWG.
Hailstorms.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm good. I got nothing to add.
You're so money. You don't even know how many you are. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. If you've enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Peace.